Hello, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over my Zealot Havoc build, which I've used to get up to Havoc 40 within just 2 days, starting at Havoc 29. So, let's just get into it straight away. For weapons, we will be using the dueling sword, where we dump mobility. We will be using Carapace Unyielding with Uncanny Strike and Thrust. There's an alternative to this, where you can replace either Unyielding or Thrust for a crit counterpart. So for perks, that'd obviously be crit chance, and for blessings, that'd be riposte. Where these two builds differ is just the weapon. Here's the bolt gun for single target boss killing, which is dumping mobility with unyielding carapace, shattering impact, and pinning fire. You can replace pinning fire with cavalcade for more crits, so overall more damage, if you're not going to be using this like at all for hordes. Meanwhile, on the flamer, this is your horde clear, and you'd be using this with mobility as your dump stat, flak armor perk, and range critical strike chance. Penetrating flame and blaze away will be your two blessings. Those are just you should just use those. Anyways, Curios are the same for the two builds. One stamina, 2 toughness with triple combat ability regen and revive speed, alongside your choice between stamina regen and toughness. Moving on to the talents. In my opinion, Backstabber is just the best of these two. Disdain can be good, but I just like the damage that you get from Backstabber against bosses. Second Wind is just insane toughness regen, especially since you're going to be dodging a lot, and this build synergizes a lot with dodging. As you can see with Duelist, 50% finesse damage on dodge. That's just free damage. Same with Purge the Unclean, this just boosts our boss damage even further. Blades of Faith is, in my opinion, still the best blitz, since you have an unlimited amount. It helps with your slow weapons, the bolt gun and the flamer, alongside the fact you just don't need to pick up grenades, which your teammates, specifically an Ogren, would very much appreciate. Moving down, we're taking Sustained Assault, 20% free melee damage when you're just attacking, and we take the middle path to Shield of Contempt. This makes you basically immortal in a solo clutch scenario. 6% flat damage reduction is just insane, and has like 50% uptime, so even in a non-solo clutch, it will just help your teammate who's taking the most damage usually. Good balance, again more damage reduction. This will be a common theme of this build. We'll be dodging a lot too, so it's just a guarantee that you take this. Providence, again 25% more revive speed. Revive speed got reworked sort of in this patch, where it actually affects assists too, so whether you're picking up an ally from a trapper or when they're just dead. And this just brings our total to 61%, which is insane. Faithful Frenzy, just free melee damage, alongside it bringing us to Benediction, the best aura, which also has more damage reduction. If you were ever to need this Beacon of Purity, let's say the green goop on the floor returned, you just replace it. There's no point tax here. And onto Chorus, which, even though has been heavily nerfed, is still, in my opinion, the best supportive ability which you could use, which this build obviously revolves around. It just gives you immortality for about 7 seconds. It's kind of obvious. You know, these two are somewhat selfish. You could like one-shot a boss or something. I like the nose good. I like how helpful this is to my team. Ecclesiarch's Core is free damage for your entire team in like the best case scenario, where you know your team can just focus on dealing damage during this. Meanwhile, Holy Cause, you aren't really taking damage, and if you are, this wouldn't save you from a situation where Chorus's gold toughness hasn't already. So I just don't find this too useful. Meanwhile, this, you can just eradicate that problem in the first place, 30% faster. Moving on, the best cooldown node without obviously martyrdom is Pious Cutthroat. Invocation of Death requires critical hits, and it doesn't have any like bonus above like over Pious Cutthroat. They're both 100%. This just has a higher uptime because for some reason they made it melee weak spot hit rather than kill, so it's just a better version of Invocation of Death, unless maybe you're using a slower weapon. But even in that case, you should be going for headshots anyway, so I don't really know why this exists. Why this exists over Pious Cutthroat. Anyways, Hubris, even more damage reduction. Again, almost 100% uptime. You should just be going for weak spot kills. And Riposte is again more damage, 20%. Stacking with Sustained Assault leads to some very good damage numbers. Moving along, we're taking Enduring Faith for another 40% toughness damage reduction. And Scourge plus Blinded by Blood. This just lets you get Bleed, 30% more crit chance on melee, and 15% more damage. Especially useful on bosses and captains, which I'll be showing off soon. Blazing Piety, and with every keystone modifier, it's just 10% crit chance for you, 10% crit chance for your whole team, and Stalwart, which is 25% damage reduction. Yeah, that's the build. A lot of damage reduction, quite a good amount of damage, even for a support build. I've had a lot of games where I've actually been the second or even first most damaging person, and on bosses that's definitely the case. So, starting off, let's just show off the damage. It's nothing crazy, but for a support build it's very good. You can just go around the map, picking off targets, whether it's gunners, you just charge up a thrust, insta-kill gunners, dealing with purple maulers, even purple crushers, you can 3-shot them if you're behind them. Very useful when there's an Ogre on your team. Just destroy Reapers and Bulwarks, and then you 1-shot every special in the game. Same with your knife, if you can aim and actually hit the head. Like this. Even flamers. And you need to charge up thrust if you want to get a consistent 1-shot on mutants. Well, that should be something you do since they're charging at you from over there. You just charge it up, dodge and hit them in the head, and they should die. This build isn't too complicated, I guess. Chorus, obviously, 7 stacks, and then you instantly unequip it. So as you can see, once it reaches 7, you instantly unequip it by pressing F, or your key to swap to your melee button / throwing knife, and you'll just instantly unequip it while they're still stunned. See, 5, 6, 7. Let that final pulse tick, and you can just attack instantly. That's the most complicated thing about this build. I guess I could show off how tanky you are. I'm sure you could figure that out from my gameplay I'm going to be showing off. For now, I'll just show off how you can deal with the bosses. On one-on-ones, you will just destroy probably every boss in the game. For example, Plague Ogre. We can just show off the backstab damage first of all. It's pretty good. This is with basically 0 buffs. But once we get into actual combat with him, and we actually start dodging things, start building up Riposte, and we start to get some really good damage. Should probably block that, which you would know if you watched my last video. But yeah, you can destroy bosses super quickly. And Burgles, and let's just pretend he's facing your team. So you'd get behind him, and you just full auto him in the back, dealing some really good damage, about half the health bar, without the Havoc HP increase obviously. Even your melee damage, about 5k per hit. But where this thing really shines is on captains. So your shield damage isn't insane, as you'd expect. You can solo captains with this build super quickly too, if you obviously know how to fight them, which you will also have seen in my last video. So once that shield breaks, you can start to get behind them, charge up some hits, and you can just you can on your own take out his downed phase. The shield requires some work, but once you get through that shield, it just gets destroyed. In most games, I'm usually at the top of my leaderboard in terms of boss damage, purely off of just captains, because you deal so much damage to them. Especially if I can show off the twins, I think they are here. Yeah, here's the twins. Okay, I'll just make them invisible for now. But yeah, just look up. Well, I guess he has no shield right now, but you can expect to see this kind of damage in the actual game once you break their shield, because their shield is time based rather than damage, so you can actually just take out their entire health bar before they even regain their shield again. Like your boss damage, especially against captains, is just insane. You just tear through them. I guess I don't know. Let's just show off the flamer, I guess. You probably know how this thing works. You just flame a horde and they all die. Not very complicated. Just show off with a bunch of maulers. Those are not maulers. Some bulwarks. This is just a random horde. You already know how the flamer works. You just hold it for the blaze away stacks. And then they all die. Well, those bulwarks have blocked everything. Let's get a better angle here. And yeah, it's just, you know, Flame Psyker but with ammo. Could also build up Uncanny, obviously, stuff like that. You know the drill. So yeah, that's basically it for this build. You want to focus on, like, you know, killing like elites and specials alongside focusing down bosses, and you'll probably be at the top of your leaderboard, and your team will thank you for clutching their games, as will be shown in the ending gameplay clip. That's basically it. Chorus is still good, and have a good day. I didn't even play the music.
we be death for you? Ammunition for holy deeds.